Hi crafters, this is Raquel from Paints and Glitter and I welcome you to ScrapbookPal today. I'll be working with the Hero Arts Best Gift Ever Birthday Bundle. This is a really cute collection that includes stamps with matching dies. It also includes a letterpress and foil plate with a little guide on the back that you see there. There are color layering stencils, so there are two in this pack, and also a matching die set that will allow you to cut out the little gift boxes. So today I'm going to start with the BetterPress system. This works with the Spellbinders machines. And as you can see, I am using low-tack tape to hold that little guide right onto that plate. I'm going to use the letterpress die. I'm going to position these so that I know exactly where they're going to be on the machine. And if you see the cover off to your right, I have an A2 size paper that I'm going to use with the Lisa Horton Interference inks. And what this is going to do is transfer those images using that ink right onto that cardstock. The first thing I'm going to do is position the cardstock to match the little plates that goes right on that lid. I press the lid right onto that base using my die cutting machine, and this is what allows that transfer, but it also leaves an impression on the paper, so it does give quite a professional finish. So here's the results, very crisp and clear, and the inks are a little metallic, so it creates a really beautiful finish. Now I'm going to use those same plates, only this time I'm using the Glimmer hot foil machine. So the difference here is that the foil that I'm using, that you see there in gold, is going to face that plate, which is being warmed up by the machine. And I place it shiny side down and then cover the entire thing with the matching plates that you see here. And I have to wait for my machine to indicate to me that it's ready, and that's when the light turns solid. I take this entire base and feed it again through my die cutting machine gently, and then when I take it out, I'm able to uncover the transfer of that foil color right onto my cardstock. So here you're going to see the reveal, and as you can tell, it's only the little bows because that's what I used. And look at how shiny and beautiful that is. Now I'm going to bring that same piece of cardstock over to just platform here that I can use with magnets just to make it a little easier for myself. And using the matching stencils, I'm now going to be able to add color onto these images. So I'm using some Catherine Pooler inks and some large brushes that you see here, and I'm cleaning off some of that ink off to the side on a scrap piece of cardstock and applying a very gentle layer of color, just barely there, if you will, because I want this to be really light and delicate so that it really looks pretty against that gold bow that each little gift box is going to have. I'm going to do the same with the pink color with the large brush one more time. And as you can tell, I am covering up some of the areas with that low tack tape to avoid any transference of color where I don't want it. So these stencils are quite easy to use. And if you have a different system, for instance, you may be able to take advantage of the little square guides on the corners so that it holds the stencil for you. But I found that they were easy enough to use with my little magnets, and also using that low tack tape made it easy to cover up any areas I did not want to add ink to. So I just went back and forth as many times as needed. And I here can show you the results, which is that when I uncover this, you get to see how light and delicate that looks. I think that would be perfect for a wedding card. But let me show you the second stencil. It goes right above the first image, so you no guesses necessary there. Um, and this time around, I noticed I started off with the large brush. However, I quickly transferred over to smaller brushes because it allowed me to really hone in on the details of that second stencil. Because here there are little stripes, there are stars, there are little polka dots, and a little shape that almost looks like a little Christmas tree to me. So I wanted to make sure that I could be a bit more concise with the ink application, and the smaller brushes are just perfect for that. So the one thing I'll point out is that I'm using the same exact ink. However, a deeper or more layered application with more ink on that brush is going to give me an entirely different result than what I had the first time around with the big full brushes. So just because a brush is large doesn't mean you have to add a lot of dark color using it. So here is the result of that second stencil. And there you see all those pretty little details. Now I'm going to repeat the same process of using a stencil with the second piece of cardstock that I had used the letterpress plate with. Now, the difference here is that because those blue ribbons are a water-based ink, and that's the Lisa Horton Interference ink, then I didn't want to add too heavy of a color. And what I did is just to use whatever was left on the brushes and also whatever was left on the stencils. So I'm literally picking up some of the ink that's on that stencil and using that just to push it into those little areas, and that gave me plenty of color to color my images, and in a moment you will see the result of that as well. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do here is a special technique. I wanted to take some adhesive and make use of that leftover foil. And all I did was that on that very same stencil, I'm pouncing that adhesive because that has a foam tip and it creates a really cool texture. So what I did was to add a bunch of adhesive there, just enough to cover the little images using this Nuvo pen. Now, these do come in different sizes, and this is the largest of the three available. So you can take a peek at the links below, and you'll be able to see all of the products, of course, that I'm mentioning today. But this is a really fun technique if you want something that's not so precise, but just glimmery and fun. So I removed the stencil, and now using the very foil that I had previously used with the Glimmer hot foil, I am now going to take advantage of what's left there. Now, I happen to have a brayer, and that's what I'm using, but you can use absolutely anything that will allow you to press that foil onto that adhesive. Just let it get a little tacky before you do this. And when you peel it off, you're going to have bits of shine here and there. It's going to have some texture to it. It will all depend on how you use that pen, but I love the results. So now I have a matching die that came with this bundle. I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine and get myself ready to use all of those little gift boxes, but I'm also going to take advantage of it so that I can cut out the sentiment that I had previously stamped, or I should say pressed onto that paper. So here's the second batch. All of my little gift boxes are ready to go, and we can start assembling our cards. Now, I had mentioned these are A2 size cards, so they do measure 4¼ by 5½. They're top folding, 300 GSM, nice sturdy cardstock. And I'm allowing myself here the use of a matting layer in a nice vibrant yellow just to kind of break up the other colors. And I'm also using some three-dimensional adhesive foam that you can get from ScrapbookPal to help me bundle these little gift boxes. And you'll see that some of them are just going to adhere flat, but I did use the Craft Perfect low tack adhesive just to help me bundle those before I added the glue. And that was a really fun way to be able to do this with all of the little gift boxes falling all over the place. So here the sentiment is also going to have some dimensional adhesive. And I love this because it will go through the mail just fine. I've never had anyone say that the cards get ruined. But you'll notice that I added a matting layer behind that, and all I did was use the ink directly onto the paper, and then I topped it off with a little bow. And look at how professional that looks. It's just quick, simple, and easy. For the second card, we're going to use that ink right onto the background. And as you can see, I just dragged that right onto the paper. That's how I had done the matting layer behind the sentiment for the first card. This time around, we're going to make this the background of our front of our card. So it's going to be the matting layer of the card. Now, the other thing is I cut that down And I also use that same ink pad on the edges of the card, and that way it just looks like the paper came in that color. It's a great way to coordinate your colors. Now here's a sentiment I'm using onto the matting layer, but let me show you the rest. They are all really nice, and all I did was heat emboss these with some Wow embossing powder in gold, and I'll have that listed below as well. But you get to choose the sentiment that you see fit for the card that you're sending. And I think that that's lovely to have a just a coordinating set where you can just reach for whichever sentiment you like, especially if you get them all stamped at once. It's a lot of fun. And it makes it a whole lot easier when you go to create cards, especially if you like batch making. So that's another suggestion. So here's our second card. Everything is layered. A little bow goes on top and it looks lovely. For the third card, what I've done is score my paper right down the center. And this is the same size, mind you, as the other two. This time around, I've taken advantage of the stamps in the collection because they do create this little tag, which I thought was super cute. I have some of the gift boxes, and what I'm going to do is place these kind of topsy-turvy, but very intentional, um, guided by that score line I created in the center of that piece of paper. And what I'm going to do here also is let you know that that scrap piece of paper I had used for the ink is where I stamped those tags, so nothing will go to waste. So I cut away what I don't want. I trim this down just to create a thin strip, and then I take whatever was left over from those little stamped images or cut pieces of paper, and I fill in the blank spots of that strip of card, which now kind of looks like a large tag. And you could definitely poke holes into those little tags that are there if you wanted to add some twine, ribbon, or anything like that. But I'm going to keep this super simple today. I'm going to use the sentiment dies. Now, when you use these dies, you can definitely use them to create shadows for your sentiments as well. So I love a matching die for sentiments because I can then take advantage of scrap papers, layer them behind the sentiment, and this will give it a look that ends up looking like a chipboard piece of card, if you know what I mean. It's just thicker, more substantial, and it adds some height to the card without too much fuss. So I really love that result, and that's what I'm going to be using for my third card. And that's just going to go front and center right on top of those little gift boxes that we had stamped and foiled, pressed, all the good stuff. So a lot of different techniques all in one card, but it still looks clean and simple because all we did was use the images as a graphic layer. So that's another little idea that I hope you enjoy with this tutorial. I'm simply going to now place my card fronts onto the bases and finish these off with some little pearls. These are from Honeybee Stamps, and they do come in several different colors. All I did was top off the center of the little bows and just add them as little embellishments here and there, not too much. But of course, if you prefer a whole lot of shine, you could keep going. You can use drops, you can use splatter, anything you like. But let me know what you think of these cards. I do hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial, that you leave a comment and a thumbs up if you have learned anything. And don't forget to subscribe to scrapbookpal.com. We love bringing you ideas with all of the amazing supplies out there. So here are my finished cards. Let me know if you'll be trying any of these techniques, if any one of them might be new to you, or if you just enjoy the process as I do. I love sharing what I make, and I hope that you have enjoyed this, that you can be inspired and be blessed. And I thank you so much for watching. By the way, there's that little Spellbinders die that I did use for that arch in case you're interested. I hope to see you in the next video, and don't forget to follow Scrapbook Pal on all of their social medias and also enter into any giveaways they might have this month. They're quite generous, so thanks again for being here. Bye-bye.